Midweek check-in. Some of you may totally want to kick me for this, but do you remember the song that never ends? It's from an old children's show, back in the Stone Ages when I grew up. Somebody called Sherry and Lamb Chop, and they had this song. And the words to the song were something like, "This is the song that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend." Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that never ends. It just keeps going. So the song loops and loops and loops. That is exactly how the last week has felt to me. Like this endless loop on a roller coaster that was fast, relentless, and jarring. And there was no way for me to get off. Welcome to Episode 5 of Making Mel, Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of my busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy, and other days, flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you, I will tell you the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. So here we are, Episode 5, riding the coaster, but not eating the tracks. So, like I was telling you, my last week consisted of pain and tingling and electric shocks and a complete inability to move the way that I want to move. Nerve pain is a whole different level, ladies and gentlemen. It was like being stuck on that roller coaster and I just could not get it to stop. See, health issues don't just mess with your movement. They mess with your mood, your meals, your motivation, and they can even mess with your mindset. This all started last Tuesday, so by Sunday, I was feeling pretty beat up. Normally, I plan my meals on Friday night. I put in my online grocery order and then I pick my groceries up on Sunday and I prep for the week. But this time, I couldn't drive, I couldn't stand for long periods of time, and I couldn't move around a lot. So, in order to meet my nutrition goals in the middle of this heavy, I had to pivot and work with what I had. Thankfully, I keep a lot of staples stocked, and I had like Sola bagels and eggs and chicken and vegetables and fruit and my non-fat Greek yogurt and some lentils and beans and tuna. So there was enough here that I could make it work. I sat down and I built a framework. I took inventory, and based on what I had available, I figured out meals that would help me not be tempted to order food from places that don't serve me well. I planned some sheet pan meals, some stir fry, some smoothies, some chicken fajitas, just simple, satisfying, low-effort meals. So I put that menu together, and then I kept it moving. Because I am in the final 2 weeks of my first PhD course, I can't believe it went that fast, but it's crunch time. So last week, in the midst of all this pain, I put 26 hours into the paper that was due on Sunday night. And the nerve pain made it very difficult to sleep, so I used that time the best way that I could. But that also meant that I'm sleep deprived and exhausted, which adds to my mindset. So let's be real. There is a reason that Weight Watchers made sleep one of the pillars, because when sleep isn't working for you, everything else follows. By the time Monday morning hit, I was holding on to a very thin thread. I joined 2 virtual workshops that I normally attend. I have Coach Shanice at 6 o'clock. She's a lifter and she's a total powerhouse. If you haven't been to her workshop, you need to go. She's great. And then Coach Emily Kay. She's a pastry chef with a heart of gold. And during Emily's workshop, I shared how tough things have been. And she did what she does best. She coached. First, she asked what I needed from the group to feel supported, and then she asked me what I could focus on or what I could do to help get past this. So I decided I was going to take 10 minutes before work on Monday morning, and I was going to play in the dirt. Now, by playing in the dirt, I mean gardening. I had this pothos plant that I bought back in August in memory of my son, and it's already bursting out of its pot. So I had all the materials to repot it for probably 3 or 4 weeks. So gardening reconnects me with my past. My grandpa owned a nursery, and I spent so much time there when I was young. Some of my fondest childhood memories are running through the rows of trees and smelling the roses and playing hide and go seek in the greenhouses. They are few of the childhood memories that I actually enjoy reminiscing about. That 10-minute window of playing in the dirt grounded me. Now, my pain didn't disappear, but my mood shifted, and that helped me stay on course. When you're in the midst of emotional weight, mindset matters, especially when you can't change the circumstances you're in. I may not be able to lift heavy weights right now, but I can lift my spirits. Sometimes we just need someone else to come alongside us and see what we can't see in the heat of the moment. Instead of reaching for food to feel comforted or skipping movement because we're tired, like in my case, I'd kill to move without significant pain right now, but that's not my option. So I had to find a different one. So step 1 in stopping the emotionally weighted roller coaster was awareness. Awareness is the first rep in emotional strength training. You have to be able to recognize the pattern. You have to interrupt it. And in the middle of where I was on Monday morning, I couldn't. Coach Emily had to help me do that so that I could recognize what was happening and move in a different direction. Step 2, you also have to realize that movement doesn't have to look a certain way. It can be a 10-minute walk. It can be jumping on the trampoline for 2 minutes or riding the swings, doing some counter push-ups, or maybe stretching to some music. In order to move, you don't have to crush a workout, though I still definitely prefer that. Monday morning, repotting a plant was my broken body workout, and it got the job done. When life gets heavy, sometimes you just got to slow down and make it easier. The point is to move through it. Step 3, you can't drown your heart in an entire pizza. Emotional weight often shows up on our plates. Sometimes you got to take a moment. I can hear Coach Valerie's voice in my head saying, pause, don't pounce. Taking a breath is the best thing you can do for yourself. And then if you want a slice of pizza, have a slice. But pause when you're done. You can indulge without losing yourself in an entire pizza or a vat of ice cream. Choose your meals with intention, even when the emotions are heavy and extremely loud. Step 4, reframe your ride. Instead of feeling like life is beating you up, just say to yourself, I'm building emotional muscle and that takes work. Because it's true. Remember when I talked about progressive overload in my last episode? That applies to your mindset too. Brick by brick, you build strength with your mindset. As your mindset gets strong, you can build it even stronger. That's how progressive overload works. Step 5, when everything around you feels incredibly heavy, reach out. Go text a friend, or jump on a workshop if you're a Weight Watchers member, or DM me. You don't have to ride it out alone. You are not weak for feeling the weight of your emotions. You're strong for choosing to rise and reach out. And if you're feeling like you're in a really great place right now and you see somebody else struggling, be the person who helps them reframe and find their footing. Today, I want you to think about and choose one thing that can help you get off of that emotionally weighted roller coaster that you might be riding right now. Whether it's one movement, or one meal, or one mindset shift, or being the motivator for someone who's struggling. Doing any of those things can help you move through and stay on track. When you take action, you're not just surviving the roller coaster as it takes you for some wild ride, but you get to steer it. And when you need to, just hit the brakes. In our next episode, we will be talking about imposter syndrome. Until then, onward and upward, my friends.